Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you very much for joining me today. So today we're going to be playing with my fabric paper and I'm really excited about this one because it's back in stock and I get to play with it and show it off. So I don't think I've done too many videos with this because it just sells out so quickly. So here it is. This is the fabric paper in the Kraft finish. You get a pack of 6 and it's A4, so it will run through your machine. You can die cut it, you can wash it, you can sew with it, you can ink it, you can do loads of things with it. So today we're going to be making some album covers. So I have here the medium album, and I do get questions about these, so I need to show you the sets and what made them. So this is the medium album here, and it has the Kraft cover, fabric paper one, and that is the medium set here. You get the binding and the page dies for that. And this is the large. This is on its side because you can have them either way. The same with all of these albums, you can have them either way, this way or that way. So I have this one in landscape, so that is the large one, and today we're going to be playing with the small one because I don't actually have a small album made up of the fabric paper just yet. So if you would like to have a more distressed look to your fabric paper, now would be the time before you get die cutting. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the packet. You can just go straight to that and make an album just as it is. It will look perfect. It just looks like faux leather. It's really durable as well, and it does have a little bit of a flexibility to it as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like after you've popped it in a bowl of water. Give it a good squeeze and a good ruffle about, and then you let it dry flat, and this is what it looks like. You can then die cut that out and make your covers that way, or you can go a step further and you can use some distress inks on the side. So I've used here vintage photo distress inks on there just with a brush, and you can really see how that just ages that. It looks absolutely stunning put together in an album. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the small album die set. As I said, we're going to be making that. So I have a few things already cut out, so I'll show you what I've done. I have here 3 of these already cut out, and I need to cut out one more because I want to show you how easy it is for this to go through the machine. Okay, so here is the page die. So this is what's going to make the pages and the covers. So to make the covers, you're going to need 4 of these page ones. I was a bit high up there. You need 4 of these ones, and you're also going to be needing the binding dies, which are also included in the die set. Here they are. So from the fabric paper, you need to cut one of the larger ones, and then just from a Kraft cardstock or whatever colour pages you're going for. I'm going to be using ordinary Kraft. It's slightly a different colour, but it's in the same sort of colour scheme. 3 of the thinner ones, and now we're ready to put this together after I have just die cut one more of those pages. So this will all fit through a standard sized die cutting machine, but I like to use my big one anyway. So I'm just going to run this through, and if you do get any offcuts, keep them because you can use them on smaller die cuts and shapes and things like that. This is going to be great if you can keep this for scraps. Okay, that die cut really well. So let's get folding. So I am going to do a couple of things to this as we pop this together. I am going to be using some red tape, red double-sided tape, and I'm also going to be using glue, and I'm also going to be using clips to hold this together just so that it dries how we want it to, basically. Because this is a completely different sort of thing to ordinary cardstock, that's why I'm going through those other extra special methods just to make sure that it's put together nicely and that it doesn't unravel or come apart further down the line. Because there's nothing like spending all this time making a mini album and then for it to fall apart. So you want to make sure it's really well made as you're making it, and you'll have a lovely album that's going to last you years. So definitely use a bone folder for this. get those crisp lines put in. And if you can think of any other uses for this, I would love to know. And if you have this already, I would love to hear from you as well on what you have used it for. Okay, that's all done, and then we're just going to do the binding. This is the outer part of the binding, what the it's like kind of like the case bit that these strips are going to adhere to. So I'm going to start off with this one first, so that these strips have a chance to dry before we start playing with this. But there is a little bit of glue drying time whilst you're making this. Okay, I need to do these first. So these are the smaller strips. Again, these are now included in the mini album, so you don't have to buy any other separate die sets to make a complete album. And all of the albums do come with like extra accessories and pockets and other decorative items, and page tabs for the pockets too. So all of these albums will actually make a pocket page, like a full-sized pocket page. I'll just show you here. There we go. There is a pocket page in there in each page, so you can get a ton of photographs and memories recorded in each album. So I like to decorate my albums and use them for individual events or special events and things like that. If you do the same, you know, or let me know in the comments actually how you use your mini albums. And also I would love to know where you store them. Do you put them on a bookshelf? Do you make a special box to put them in? I would love to know. Some of mine are in boxes and some of mine are actually on shelves. Okay, so this is the first one, and we're going to pop this right in the center like that. Make sure it's as straight as possible, because this is what is going to keep your pages straight. So if this goes on slightly wonky, then your pages are going to be slightly wonky as well. I didn't want to put any guidelines or marks on there because that would be visible, so you will have to have a little bit of a practice if you don't think that you can get it right first time. But if you use the glue, you will have time to get this on straight. And again, this album can be used on its side, so you can have it in a landscape as well, just by trimming down this section smaller. And that's made super easy because we have these guidelines here, so you die cut them out and you can trim them down to the right size, to 4 inches. So I've made it super easy for you to get the most out of these mini album dies. So this is the last one. Just going to pop that there and press that down. Again, you can go in with your bone folder as well, just to press everything down. Right, so that is the binding done. I'm going to set that aside to dry. And again, I'm using Cosmic Shimmer, and everything that I'm using today is listed down below because I do get questions. Even when I list things, people will still ask me, so I just need to keep saying throughout the video, it's down below. And if it isn't down below in the description box, let me know and I will see if I can find a link. Right, so I have here some red tapes. I'm going to use this one, and also my Tim Holtz scissors because they're practically non-stick. They are a little bit gunky because I haven't cleaned them in a while, but it takes a lot longer for them to get gunky in the first place. So, because I think they're titanium coated or something like that. They have a special coating. Oh gosh, don't you just love brand new tapes? Getting these off, there we go. Right, I'm just gonna give that a trim. Right, so here is my plan of action. I always try and cut that on an angle. I hold it like this. So much easier just to run through everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add my red tape along here, and I'm going to do this to all of these tabs. Okay, so I just had a rethink. I only need to do that on 2 of these. These 2 here I need to trim off the tabs on both of those. So let's do that now. You can use a paper trimmer, which I think I will do, or you can use scissors. I recommend something long handled. You can get some really nice straight cuts that way, or you just use a paper trimmer and you'll get a lovely straight cut that way. And if you've already folded it, you know it's lined up in the right place. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this, those two pieces and these two pieces. Right, so bone folder, press everything down. This is going to get rid of all of the air bubbles, and it's also going to push these right into the fibres, so you're going to get a really good stick. Nice addition there when you put this together. Right, so let's take off the backing from one of these. There we go. I'm going to add my glue as well. So the double-sided tape is going to give you an instant stick, and the glue is there for long term. Okay, so this is a really good quality acrylic glue. It says Cosmic Shimmer, but it dries clear, so it's a really good fast drying glue as well. Right, we should have that, and we're going to pop this together. So turn it over, and then I'm just going to pop this one on here, line it all up. You can do this however you want to. I'm just going to line up the top section here and poke that down. There we go. And if you do have anything overhanging, you can just trim it off. And then I'm going to just lift up that. There's so many different ways that you can actually attach a piece of paper or card on top of another one. There we go. But because this is quite a thick paper, that's gone a bit wonky, I don't like that. Because this is quite a thick paper, it wants to unfold. Actually, I think I'm going to live with that. You can barely tell. It's just to my eye. It just kind of goes wonky a bit there. But that's fine. That was just my paper trimmer that did that. And then what I'm going to do is just press everything down with my bone folder. Now here's a top tip. I have some binder clips here. Mr. G actually bought me a whole tub a couple of Christmases ago, and it was one of the best presents. Okay, so he did get me loads of other really nice things, but I was just excited about binder clips. But anyway, if you didn't use the tape, you can then just attach these binder clips just here, just like so. But because I've used the tape, everything should be held together whilst the glue dries. Okay, now let's do the same on the other one. Okay, so just finishing off this one here. These are my two covers, front and back, and they are now ready to be attached. Oh, can you see this one is coming apart there? So binder clips at the ready. Just to get that closed. This may take a few binder clips. I'm not sure why this one wants to come undone. I may have added extra glue. Okay, so while that one's drying, we can then work on this one. Okay, so we have here all the binding for the pages. They're going to attach to the Kraft cardstock here, and the covers are going to attach to these two outer ones. So you get 6 pages and the 2 covers. So dry run, we're going to attach this on just like that, and that is going to be our back cover. Okay, so I am going to add some tape, and I'll be using glue as well. Really need to clean my scissors. I have here I highly recommend this. This is a rubbing alcohol. I use it to clean my printer as well because it messes me about occasionally, but it's really good for cleaning dirty things, ink and things like that. So definitely use them on your scissors if they're gunked up. Just pop it onto a bit of a paper towel and give it a good rub. I'm going to do both sides, save me having to go backwards and forwards with the tape. Okay, let's get the back cover popped on. Take off the backing on both sides. I'm not going to add as much glue, just a little bit, just like that. Okay. But I am making sure I go right up into the corners just there. Right, let's take our first one. What we're going to do is we're going to slide this on and then line it up with the score line, but you've got to make sure that the score line isn't hidden or covered, that it's just about visible. Before I press down, I'm just going to check the other side. I can see I may have gone in a bit too far here. Just straighten that up and then just doubly check. Use a ruler and make sure that is all straight. And then you can press down. Okay, there is our back cover. It is done, and if you want to, you can glue this closed or leave it open whilst you decorate your album. And some flaps and lift up things, the top section can be tucked in here and then sealed, so then you will have a flap with a hidden closure there where it bends. Okay, let's do the next one now. I think this should be almost dry. If not, I can still attach this with the clips. Just move that along. That's all good. I think I will need to trim just a little section here. Okay, did I take the other side off? No, I haven't yet. Okay, so exactly the same. Add your glue. And adding the pages is going to be a lot easier than this because we're just dealing with ordinary cardstock there. It's because this is a speciality material. Okay, so I actually have this upside down now. This is the side we just did, and I like to work on this side. So just turn it over. But I am being mindful of my opening. The opening's here. Opening here, it's here at the top. I'm going to slide that on and do exactly the same. Line it up with the score line. Double check the back. That looks good to me. And then we can press down. And again, get your bone folder in and give that a really good press. I think I did it on that one. There we go. I am going to leave these clips on there now. Actually, maybe I'll risk taking them off, but if it starts to come apart, I can put them back on again. But if you want to put them back on and leave them for a few hours, you can do. Okay, so there is, oh, yeah, that's the right way around. So I've got my pockets at the top. There is my basic cover using the fabric paper to make the covers for the small album. So all I have to do now is die cut for the next stage. If you want this to be another video, do let me know. I do have other mini album tutorials for these die sets, especially for this actually all three of them have them now, on how to assemble this anyway. So if you want to find that, I will leave that linked down below, but let me know if you want me to continue with this particular album, and I can do that, and then we can decorate it together as well. Okay, so here is the page die. You need to die cut 12 of these, and then there is some trimming on the tabs here depending on your orientation of your album. Very similar to what we've done here, but it depends if you want to have your pocket on the side, but the tutorials will explain all of that. So you need to die cut 12 of those and then decide what you're going to do with the tabs. Okay, so that is how I make the cover. I'm super glad now I have one in the small, in the medium, and also in the large in landscape. So I guess I need to make another one now with an album in portrait. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. Everything that I've used should be listed down below. If I forget anything, let me know, and I'll see you again very soon.